Okay, hey everyone, Darkspidey34. I'm here. I'm back again. Here I have with me Mark.
Yeah, I'm here.
I almost called him by his D&D name because we just got
Oh
done.
yeah, we straight fresh out of a D&D sesh, guys.
Yeah,
so
just got out of it.
We're nerds.
Yeah, it's about 10 p.m. It's a little late, so we'll try to get this out of the way. What happened was the technical difficulties was not with Minecraft, and it wasn't with Fraps or anything. It was with
Reggie's voice.
Yeah, my microphone settings was a bit messed up, but I think it's all fixed. I think it's all better. I'm gonna try not to click outside any windows because I don't know if the recording will keep if I. Okay. So what we did talk about, and this will be a refresher, and I'll try not to say, as I already said, or as you know, as we. Blah, 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 blah. I'm gonna try and avoid that. I went over my main gripe with the animation category, which you told me was brought up in the. Did you tell me it was brought up in the Red Letter Media video, or did I? You said that I would like it.
Yeah, I said you would like the video.
Yeah, you fucking lied. I didn't like the video. Okay, no, I didn't like the second half because they were trashing movies that I happen to like.
Oh,
damn. It's okay. I just like those movies. I wouldn't say I was in love with them, but you know. Yeah, it's funny. But yeah, it's definitely mostly, nepotism that controls a lot of what happens. So it's not so much bias, but I mean racial bias or anything like that.
Yeah.
I think like the main thing we kind of went on was John Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Because I keep.
It always seems to go to John Williams. Conversations.
I keep going on about how much a lot of people love his music. He's the poster boy for film soundtracks, and he's been that way for decades, consistently.
The cover of all the hot Playboy magazines for composers.
To be fair, when he was younger, he wasn't bad looking, and right now he just looks like a grandpa.
Not a bad grandpa either.
Oh yeah. No, my grandpa's super famous, and he's good at. He looks like Santa Claus.
Let him conduct me. I don't know what that entails, but
yeah, he'd use that hoity-toity fucking conductor stick. Yeah, and he's not.
See, how much you think of that is actually like. How much do you think the conductor is actually adding to that? Do you think after some point the band's like, we know what we're playing? You know what I mean?
He keeps up.
Like you're just waving your arms. We've played this before, all right.
He doesn't have to do anything. He's just a poster boy. They ghostwrite all the music. He's not violating the violin. He's not fiddling with the flutes. He's not doing any of that shit. He's just up there waving his wand like some sort of invisible fencer. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
It's just how they get their arms exercised,
And he's like 80. You think he can move his arms that well? Let me tell you something. When
they got him on strings,
like if those fucking
yeah.
Hey, let me tell you something. When Christopher Lee was his age, and that's weird saying that because John Williams is also really fucking old. When Christopher Lee was his age, he had trouble with the lightsaber duels and Attack the Clones.
Yeah.
Because like his
Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, but he said his arms were okay. It's just the leg movement.
And to be fair, this was Attack of the Clones lightsaber fights. So he was trying to deflect Yoda jumping off of walls and stuff. Like if it was the first Star Wars where the lightsaber fights with them just like tapping each other, I think he'd be okay.
Yeah, just listening to him go over the fight was actually pretty fascinating because
really,
I don't know, I just love listening to him talk about film and such, and how much everything's changed. And you can almost like catch a hint of something in his voice. I don't know what it is, but there's something there. So yeah, so maybe John Williams is just fine moving his arms about, but if you want to get him to do the electric slide or moonwalk, probably not. I mean,
you're gonna need a hologram John Williams.
You're gonna need to do what they did in Attack of the Clones and like composite his CGI face on a younger person's body, and have him do that. There needs to be an epic rap battles of history, but with like film composers or something.
God, that would be your wet dream, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah. Because they had a great opportunity to include Christopher Nolan. I'm just imagining it's like a slightly pudgy blonde guy with his hair flipping about, dancing. Just watching Christopher Nolan dance
what would be the most epic composer rap battle? John Williams versus someone?
John
versus
Williams.
Who?
The one guy from The Good and the Bad and the Ugly. Definitely Hans Zimmer. Danny Elfman, maybe John Powell. I don't know how well anyone knows him. Uh, God,
So you really like the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly soundtrack, huh?
everyone loves that shit. And
I mean,
he was nominated
classic.
this year because Quentin Tarantino finally put in an original soundtrack for it, I believe.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I mentioned him before on an older Darkspideycast. I don't remember. I couldn't pronounce his name and I couldn't remember it, but yeah.
Hmm.
Um, so John Williams has a very interesting uh win streak because everyone knows him, everyone loves him. But I was really surprised when I actually looked up how many times he's won. He hasn't won that many Academy
Yeah.
Awards. His win to
Not
lose,
recently, anyway.
not real, God no. He hasn't won a single Academy Award since Schindler's List. So that's like our entire existence, and he hasn't won anything. And in that entire existence, he's produced some really solid, memorable stuff. And this is during a time when most people retire. He was in his 60s by this point, and he still was going strong. And they still nominated him. They nominated him numerous times in a single ceremony, and they did that numerous times. He'd win. He would be nominated for 3 movies in one ceremony, and then in another ceremony he would be nominated like 2 times, and then another time 2 times, and another time 3 times. It's crazy, but they don't give it to him for some reason, And other composers, who I don't. That's such a weird concept to me that someone would be nominated multiple times in a ceremony, but it's still not good enough to win. I guess they view it as separate ones, but the more I look into the voting process, the more I'm just sort of dubious of any sort of.
I think a lot of it might just be like, oh, they don't want to like repeat like awards to people. So like if they say like he won like a lot in the past, they'd be like, they got all these up and coming guys. Let's give it to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't want to like say he's bad, so we'll still nominate him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I guess that whole if you've been with the business long enough so you'll get the nomination. I think it only goes so far as a nomination. I don't think they really ever will give it to you. And sometimes I feel like if a film is within the Academy film genre, then the score, which has been constructed around this specific idea of a film, will also get nominated. One, because generally it'll sound really good, because a lot of care has been taken into it. Just like the overall look of the film will be very nice. It'll be filmed, very nice. So of course it's going to get nominated because it's just generally good. It's okay, but it doesn't really stick with you. It's not something that people feel is iconic or memorable in any way.
Mm-hmm.
Like Inception was nominated for an Academy Award back in 2011 because the movie came out in 2010. Ceremony was in 2011, and the score for the Social Network won. And that's a bit of a tie for me. But if you were to ask anyone what soundtrack stayed with most people, it's probably Inception. But I'm not gonna really get on them for that because that was a really seamless transition for Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross transferring over the film like that. There was a bit of a snub with Tron Legacy, obviously, and another, transition into film. So, the Tron soundtrack, I think it's more memorable than the fucking Social Network soundtrack.
It's got Daft Punk behind it, baby.
Oh yeah, definitely. And Inception was the most memorable score in I don't know how long.
I mean, it revolutionized trailers, if not anything.
Yeah.
You can't watch anything that's dramatic or actiony without hearing that "blah," baby.
Yeah, we were just they released some parts of the Batman vs Superman soundtrack, and what Hans Zimmer and Junkie XL did was they had a Batman melody that sounded like Danny Elfman's, but they were like, I can tell listening to it, they're just like, okay guys, we need to have as many notes as we possibly can so people can't call us lazy for having 2 notes for a Batman theme. Even though I don't agree with that at all, because they had like numerous motifs in the previous Batman films for Batman that they added on with each film.
Yeah,
they had like
everyone's gotta give their own little spin to the theme.
And they had dun, 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 dun. And they had a bit of a smaller one in The Dark Knight Rises that went dun, 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 ba-da-ba-ba, dun, 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 ba-da-ba-ba, dun. And it's I think that's the music they play when
Don't worry, everyone. He's gonna go back and post and put all
Yeah.
the actual songs over
Yeah.
his beautiful singing
Yeah,
voice.
I think that's the part when he climbs out of the pit, and it just sort of crescendos. I hate this word so much. Can you say it for me? I can't.
Crescendo.
Crescendo. It's crescendo, not crescendo. I don't know.
Yeah,
And
you're
with
trying
the
to
Batman
say like
thing.
a shen.
Yeah,
halfway through.
crescendo. Ah, fucking
Crescendo.
crescendo.
Yeah, like
Ow, my shins. My shins are on fire. So they add. So it sounds like it has a lot more notes going on to it, but it's really not how many notes that you have, because I remember seeing this complaint for the longest time. Damn near like 9 years I've been seeing this complaint for that specific film, but everyone knows what it is. You're citing it right now. Everyone immediately knows what that is, which is crazy with a melody that's only 2 notes. You know, because you got to get the sound right. It's the tempo. It's the instrument choice. All of it works. You got 2 notes. He made 2 notes iconic, and then he went a step further and made 1 note iconic with the Inception main score or main theme. And that's not even mentioning all the other tracks on the Inception soundtrack, which is fantastic and has a whole bunch of melodies and such on there. Great instrument choice. I mean, I hear sounds that I've never heard before on any other soundtrack. It's like this like sort of synth that sounds like something is burning or something, but it's like I can't even sound it out. It's just like
they had to light the recording equipment on fire to get that sound.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's very rare.
They're really fiddling with those knobs there. They're really fiddling with the synthesizer knobs and buttons and stuff. Have you ever seen Hans Zimmer's like workshop or whatever, his studio?
Imagine. I imagine it looks like...
It's so cozy.
I imagine it looks like Pinocchio's workshop.
I don't know what that looks like, but...
Just like a bunch of like wooden cogs everywhere.
I guess some people would imagine it's some sort of like war-torn, like the hole. There's like holes blown out into the walls and the roof is caved in. You know, it's like the aftermath of Man of Steel. That's what his office. That's what his workspace, his study looks like.
I bet he's got... No, I bet it's just like some gyroscopic, like 360 rotating, like sphere that he sits in, and there's all his like soundboards all around him.
Yeah.
And or his band, they just hover around him as he makes his music.
Yeah.
You know, one can only dream.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I was making sure this thing was still recording. Yeah, no, I heard you. Jeez, what was I going on about?
Hans Zimmer.
Yeah, so that was incredible of him, but he also gets sort of snubbed along with Thomas Newman. I think that's in. There's a lot of Newmans in the.
A lot of Newmans.
A lot of Newman. A lot of Newmans in the.
Yeah,
the
Randy
film
Newman.
soundtrack.
You got Paul Newman.
Yeah, and they're not brothers, but they are related. So yeah, it's exactly what you think they are. I think they're cousins. Just crazy.
Randy Newman's doing nowadays.
I don't know. Randy Newman's doing today. What's Randy Newman doing today? Well, all you gotta do is put up Google. Type in Randy Newman. Please ignore the suggestion that I'm dead. And then enter.
Oh no.
What? He's not dead,
He's
is he?
dead.
No, he's not.
No.
Motherfucker. So the reason why... Yeah, so the reason why I brought up Hans Zimmer, I think... Well, I was going to bring this up anyway, was him in particular. Like, the Academy is just like... Yeah, we've nominated you a lot of times, and, you haven't won one since 1995, but... and you've made some of the more iconic, for better or worse, melodies in modern film soundtracks, but you think you can just produce the score for us? Could you do that? You seem to have this sort of talent of pulling in a lot of stuff together and making a thing work, but what about what about the academy? What about that? You know, our balls are just feeling really big right now. So could you just produce the music for us? You know, you might get nominated next year or whatever. You know, no guarantees. But could you just do all the work for us, please? And of course he does. Of course
he does, because he's a saint. He does the work.
I guess I don't wanna. Geez, what's the word for it? Because it can turn out like he can be like a huge hack fraud, and I can look like a huge asshole.
Yeah.
I mean, some people are already accusing him of being a hack fraud because he has a lot of people working with him. So like, oh, who made the melody? Well, it's simple to find out. I guess all you got to do is look at that particular person.
If you call him a hack fraud, you gotta call like half the people making music hack frauds, because especially pop music.
Yeah, I mean,
like they like to say that like Taylor Swift like writes her own songs. She's got fucking 15 other people helping her. Yeah.
Well, they do call her hack. Well, she is a hack fraud. They're all a bunch of fucking hack frauds. But the thing with like Hans Zimmer, there's this one composer who always who works with him a lot. Sometimes he goes uncredited unless you like look at the ending credits themselves.
Yeah.
If you wait through all
who
that.
Who fucking reads those?
Yeah.
I'm out of theater.
I think his name is Lorne Balfe. I can't pronounce his name, or last name, but I think he worked on the Assassin's Creed soundtrack, which is pretty good. And then I found out he when Terminator Genesis came out, I was like, oh, he's doing the score for that. Oh, it's probably gonna sound really good since he works with Hans Zimmer. There's gonna be like a lot of synths in there. It's gonna sound like the original Terminator soundtrack that Brad Fiedel or what's his name made. Oh yeah, oh hell yeah. And then I listened to it. I'm just like, this is shit. This is kind of generic.
Just like the movie.
Yeah, it's like no effort was put in this at all. What the fuck?
Just like the movie.
Yeah, I mean, Chappie sounded more like Terminator than this, and they had loads of fucking techno synth bullshit in there. What the fuck? What the fuck? Oh, and speaking of Chappie, remember back in like summer or whatever, I said the only time anyone's gonna talk about Chappie is 8 months from now when the Academy nominations are released.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like I gave the movie too much credit and the people too little credit.
It's not nominated for anything?
No, not a single thing. And I kind of feel bad about it because it's like the one thing the film was proficient at was the visual effects and everything. Like, it looked so painstaking for such a weird, schizophrenic, sort of poorly thought out movie. And like just some astounding ideas went into this film, and I just don't know what the fuck he was thinking. Is that Alien movie still gonna happen?
What
that guy's
movie?
gonna God, what's that guy's name? Who directed Chappie? The South African guy. I forget his name, but I heard he was gonna do Alien 3 or whatever, or the Alien 3 remake, whatever it was going to be.
That.
I don't know if that's still happening, but I hope it doesn't.
He's gonna make District 10.
Oh my god! It's like this is the only thing that works. I mean,
Yep.
he already made
Just
District
make
10.
aliens.
He already made District 10. It was called Elysium.
Oh yeah.
No, but like of course he's gonna go back.
He did have the bug people. You need to have the bug people if you want to make a
people.
good movie.
And that's just gonna be crap too. And it's
No.
It's gonna be crap.
No.
He lost whatever. He either lost his way or he got lucky that first time, and then everything just sort of fell apart after that point. It's like the Wachowskis. They make this really interesting,
what really happened is
revolutionary
he
film.
made a good movie and it all went to his head.
Yeah.
He thought he was so good.
Yeah, it's like George Lucas, the Wachowskis, M. Night Shyamalan, although he's making a little bit of a comeback, so I hear. And you got the guy whose name is on the tip of my tongue, but I can't seem to get it out. The South African guy, the guy who directs all those South African movies. I'm trying to do a South African accent, but I can't. Sorry, I'm not from that part of Africa. Like that matters.
I don't know. There's some pretty good stuff coming out of Hollywood.
What?
You know what I'm talking about.
What?
Hollywood?
What the fuck is that?
Remember that one video I showed? That one movie we watched?
Yeah, I mean, it has nothing on Nollywood, but yeah, sure. Nollywood, Bollywood.
No, this is Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
What?
I was gonna say, if you want to sound like a real South African, you gotta just go say, "The movie's on!
The movie is going on!
The movie's on!
So much
action!
very much action!"
I love those.
It's better than anything I can make. Or is it? No, it isn't.
You just need more wooden guns. What you need.
And
More guns that are like 2-dimensional.
I made the joke that the fight choreography was better than we see in a lot of modern movies.
It's pretty good.
It's
like that's the thing. Like I've watched behind the scenes stuff. Like Vice did something about that, and they practice a lot of like martial arts.
Yeah.
And like that's what they mostly practice.
See, the thing is, they get a lot of Jackie Chan and kung fu movies, right? That's pretty much all they get. Right?
Yeah.
So they put that in their VHS players, right?
They don't even get malaria medicine. That's all they get.
Just
Just Jackie Chan.
You gotta film it like this. You have to do the wide shot. Cause we got to do the wide shot like this, and that's how we do it. We do wide shot like this. Funnily enough, I sound like Jackie Chan almost.
Could you imagine if Jackie Chan voice acted over all his movies like they do their movies? Okay, here I go. I do a big flip. Oh, Chris Tucker, you over there? You go kick him.
Chris Tucker is screaming again.
This is the best part. The movie's on.
Oh man, Jackie Chan's amazing though.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
He's still doing stuff.
Yeah. His American movies though, or when he's being directed by an American director, the magic is just sort of isn't there.
Well, because the last time he got directed by an American director, it's like, okay, you're Jackie Chan. Just be Jackie Chan.
Okay. Now you're gonna punch him. Now cut. All right. Let's set it up again, and pretend to punch him.
They just used Jackie Chan as a kung fu object.
Yes, and they don't even know how to film it correctly.
Yeah.
You know.
Although, we got him punching him. That's good enough.
Yeah, I'm happy to see that Batman vs Superman. I'm sorry, the Dawn of Justice movie is actually incorporating like genuine kind of wide shots, sort of.
I'm still very
one shot
on the edge about that movie.
Fight scenes. Yeah, I mean they're doing it. I feel like everything that we're seeing from this movie, the visuals and everything, is sort of like a culmination of every Batman thing that's come before it. We got to do this right, and we got to do this right because in these previous iterations, they got this part wrong. And this part they got right, so let's take this and push it up. Like visual aesthetics, writing style, sort of the overall quality. They push that up. You saw that with the Nolan movies. I know not everyone likes them, but I mean, come on. We got them from the Arkham games. It was sort of like a logical realization of that. But each one was sort of its own thing in a very in a way that I don't think you can do with a lot of other properties because that's. You can't do that with Superman because it'll piss a lot of people off. You can maybe do it with Spider-Man. Spider-Man has a bit more versatility than Superman, but not as much as Batman, I feel, because he's been everywhere. He's been all around the map, and that's what makes him such a.
I just feel like they're gonna try to pack too much into this movie because I didn't even know Wonder Woman was gonna be in it until that reveal, I guess, and it's like there's gonna be a lot of just shit going on in this movie. I thought it was just gonna be two men punching each other.
Well, it has. I don't think the problem is it has too many cast members because there's nothing particularly special about like the number of people working on the movie. What concerns me is the amount of money that's being pushed into this because they're refilming stuff. Like the budget is going way up, and I think it's breaking some records, given how expensive it is. I'm concerned about the actress playing Wonder Woman. I don't really have that much problem with her looks. I mean, they probably could have done better, but. I think she's fine on the looks department, I guess. I'm concerned with her acting and her accent. I mean, they had that one line of her, finally, a line of dialogue from her.
Like, we haven't seen anything from Wonder Woman, like, as far as, like, new continuity stuff. Yeah, like, she's never really appeared, so...
Yeah, in the movie, like, in any of the trailers, she never really spoke, which was scaring the shit out of me, because I know how thick her accent is. I think I said on this very show that, like, she talks like she has fucking syrup in her mouth or something. From interviews, and I think they
like a Greek person with syrup in their mouth.
Yeah, but she's not Greek. She's Israeli.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, is that New Wonder Woman?
Yeah, the New Wonder Woman is from Israel. Okay. Like she served in the Israeli military.
Yeah.
So I bet her and Ben get along just fine. With him and his at least what he said about Islam and everything. I'm sure they get along just fine. It must be really awkward. I'm not all that worried about Jesse. I don't know. I'm not that worried.
That's the other thing too. I don't know. Like, it's hard to see him as an intimidating character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
he just looks like like a sweat nerd. I'm just gonna be seeing his American Ultra persona. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know they're probably going for like, cause when I first heard about it, I'm like, oh, they're obviously going with the Mark Zuckerberg route, but from like the trailers, he's like kind of giddy and everything. I'm pretty sure that's like a persona that he's putting on as the character, and maybe in secret he's more like Mark Zuckerberg or some sort of composite of Mark Zuckerberg and Lex Luthor. I heard a bit of the soundtrack for Lex Luthor, and it's like it's like a sort of it's like that sort of old timey piano that Hans Zimmer likes to use sometimes. So like it sounds sort of over dramatic and a bit and kind of silly. So I don't know. Like I like that's a genuinely interesting choice for a character theme. That's what he always does. He always does.
Lex Luthor was kind of a did kind of match him. He was kind of a silly guy.
Yeah.
He tried to. I mean, I don't know exactly what Lex Luthor did, but I know he like tried to capture Superman in some sort of orb that was like an orb. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Superman got weird things happening to him that he had to stop.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm more. We'll get back to the Academy Awards, but I just want to say one thing. I'm not confident with Zack Snyder as a director, and by that I mean like you can pull in the visuals well enough. You can get the look of things down. I mean,
yeah.
Him
you put that nice filter over things and make them look cool, but when it comes to like
everything
directing,
his compositions, the way he lights stuff, the way he filters stuff, the effects he puts on it, I will say him and his team, they put a lot more effort than your average Marvel film where they kind of just point and shoot stuff. There's something really standoutish about their compositions or anything meaningful to say about how they shoot it. It's just like here's the action, here it is. Because at least for me, when I film stuff, I try and incorporate the visual aspects of the medium into everything that's going on. I try to keep up continuity as best as I can. Like for example, everywhere you see Ben Urich, you see his hat hanging somewhere in the background. I think I messed it up maybe once, but I tried. I try to have stuff in the background and incorporate that
just
later.
The things that like only the ones with sharp eyes were gonna notice, but Yeah.
I mean, I'll get into that more when I eventually do a commentary on the episode. I don't really have a set date for when I do a commentary. Like I tried doing maybe 6 months after an episode, and that's actually that might be coming up at least in October. So so I think I might have like 2 months if that's what I'm going to do. That's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the commentary whenever I feel like it. So he puts a lot of work into the shots, so it all looks like a wallpaper, it all looks like a painting, but it's too much. It's a little too much. It's too much misplaced effort. And Marvel's is not enough effort to that. It's like how they write their villains. It's just like they're all in the end they're all white guys in suits, save for like the Avengers or whatever. And they're kind of boring and forgettable. Whereas with Bane and General Zod, they kind of just threw everything at it. And although they came out being silly, they left less so
they had
General Zod,
a big impression on like
for you.
Yeah, everyone knows that.
Yeah.
Maybe not as big as the Joker, but
and the Joker, with DC's films, they throw a lot out there, and some of it might work, and some of it will fall really hard on its face, like every DC film since every DC film since I think like 2004 has just threw everything out there, and it's fallen flat on its face in some places. But when it hits the mark really, really, really strong, and it stays with you. And I can't say that for the majority of Marvel's films, but every single, DC film that's come out in the last like 10 years has stayed with me, and for better or worse. But I mean, that's what happens when you shoot for the stars. That's what happens when you just. And I know, like, the major complaint is, it seems so full of itself. It's trying to be so deep and everything. But when it tries to do that, it might seem pretentious, but it stays with me more. As someone who likes film, I appreciate that effort, and even if it falls flat on its face, it does it spectacularly, and it's humorous, and it sticks with me. And I don't know.
It's something to talk about at the end of the day,
I don't want to fucking.
It's
talk
not
about
like The Avengers beat some stuff up. It was okay. You're
Yeah.
like, nah, man. Superman, that was weird.
I will make an exception for the Avengers because there are a lot of thematic things that are happening with the characters that I appreciate, and some meta things here and there. Ugh, I hate saying
still
meta,
think,
but so
like,
I'll give that a pass. But for stuff
and
like
I
Thor
think,
2
like,
and Thor
and like Guardians of the Galaxy, I really liked that one.
yeah,
Even
yeah,
people say some things about it. I think like that hit the nail pretty on the head
yeah.
for like what it was trying to get.
Yeah, but I hate the residual
across.
effect that film is having because they edited the new Star Trek trailer to be exactly like Guardians of the Galaxy,
Really?
and you know what? I'll move on to the Oscars, but you know, I talked to death about Star Trek, the Star Trek movie series. You know what? I'm done. I'm giving up on it. After that trailer, I'm done. I'm not gonna go see it.
You're gonna go see it.
No, I'm not. They burned me on that.
We'll go. We'll see it.
It's just astounding what they're doing with this story, and just not even the story, just the way they're filming it. Like at first it seems interesting, but the way that I don't know. They're just.
But you were just saying how some things can be pushing ideas forward and they fall flat in their face, and you still want to see that. So when you want to,
this might do it. You know.
You would want to see that. Come on.
I just feel like these Star Trek movies are too inconsistent with their tone, because the first two are J.J.
I know
Abrams
they are.
movies.
I mean,
they are toned as a J.J. Abrams film, just
Uh-huh.
like Mission Impossible 3 was a J.J. Abrams film, whereas Mission Impossible 4 was a Brad Bird film. It was a film made by Brad Bird, and I could see that. But with J.J. Abrams, it's a J.J. Abrams film. So Star Trek 1 and 2, J.J. Abrams films. A bit of Star Wars as well was a J.J. Abrams films. You know, he can't get out of him being, him. You know, there might actually be like a lot of wacky craziness in there. I'm just like, yeah, I might as well. I don't know.
That's
I keep
the thing,
wanting
yeah.
deep inside. I keep wanting like a bit deeper Star Trek. I'm not saying Star Trek was like super duper deep or the deepest thing ever, but it had more depth than this. And
I'll say
keep
when Star
wanting
Trek
that.
was good, it was getting crazy.
Yeah, I keep wanting that. I keep wanting that next gen. I keep wanting that Deep Space Nine stuff. I keep wanting, even stuff in the original show. But that's not going to happen. That's not going to flow. And I heard they're making a TV show. That's probably better
Really?
for Star Trek. Yeah, the Star Trek movies has a long history of being terribly
Yeah.
inconsistent in terms of quality.
Like, yeah.
Like they can be like iconic, not even for just Star Trek films, but iconic for films in general. And then the next one is just like absolute like forgettable garbage, or just poorly made, poorly thought out.
Because I feel like when people go into the mindset of, oh, we're making a movie, they're like, all right, we gotta squeeze like all these elements into this this 2-hour film. We gotta have action, we gotta have drama, we're gonna have comedy, or just push it all in there. When you have like a TV show, you can stretch all that out and have maybe there's not gonna be any action in this episode. Maybe they just talk. Maybe they just they fan the plot out a little bit.
Yeah.
And they're allowed to take these liberties of not just all right, like people are gonna be sitting through this for like one sitting. Give him it all.
Yeah.
It's better for just like little doses.
Yeah. See, the general narrative structure for Star Trek for the entirety of its history was always strongest in an episodic format, because you get the monster of a week, which builds up like consistency and a bit of normality between like the sort of overarching story plots that go over a couple of episodes, and you don't get that with these movies. You don't get the plot, the narrative structure of a film is completely different. You got a 3-act structure, and when your movie's about space exploration, you don't explore anything, and you kind of just recycle older plots. It should have been like this. That's just the Enterprise going on a journey throughout a 3-act structure or something. Because you can't do
on
these
on a Star Trek.
Yeah, they can't do like these little sort of interesting plots that would work better for a TV show. Because with a movie, you got to stretch that stuff out, and it just end up like being like Jason Bourne in space, and not even like the interesting James Bourne or whatever in space. I don't know. And the problem is also with the way that they write these films, because it can work. It has worked before with previous Star Trek films, but it doesn't work all that often, and it takes a really creative a writer and director to pull all this stuff off. And don't even get me started on the Next Generation movies. Oh my God, they I think they hired like some of the people who worked on the TV show for this. I don't remember. And it's weird. Like the strongest Next Generation movie was directed by one of the cast members. So I don't know who they had working on all these other films. I know the producers produced the show and everything, but they got sort of nobody directors and writers to work on these films, and it didn't really pan out all that well. And they kind of did the same thing again, but they had a specific tone that they were going for, and they put a little more effort into it, and it turned out to be pretty good. And then they just did that again, and it's like, all right, guys, you already did Wrath of Khan a bit for the first Star Trek movie. Maybe you should do something else. Maybe you should do something different, please. And, now they are. But I just don't know how this is. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about any of this because of the way the trailer is edited and the people who are working on it. And all I can think about is people flying in the air or whatever. But yeah, let's see what they do with the TV show, because that's the format it's the strongest on. Like comic books.
Yeah.
That's where they work best. Okay, so the Academy Awards. Yeah, that's what really bit me there. They didn't fucking give it to John Williams. And I know it's a matter of preference and whatnot, but I mean, I guess I'm of course a bit biased because I'd like even his more insubstantial scores like The Book Thief or Lincoln or 70 Years in Tibet, and we went over this. God damn it, I did it again. Oh, yeah. I said it. I told myself not to say that. I love the score for 10 Years in Tibet. I mean, it's a bit repetitious because it's just like this main melody and these motifs that he made played sort of slightly differently throughout the entire soundtrack. So it's not as, it doesn't have that much versatility or diversity, I guess, within the soundtrack. But, oh my God, is it good. Like, it reminds me of Lawrence of Arabia. And once you hear it, you feel like you've heard it before. And that's what hit me. I mean, I might have heard it just through pure osmosis. And I think I actually found the first time I heard the main theme for 7 Years in Tibet, I think I was watching this Lego Star Wars video. I think it was called Alone in the Dark. It was like, this guy was making Lego animations of like his own Clone War battles, and it was like this own little story. He was actually a pretty prominent Lego animator for a time. I forget his name, but I'm sure some of you guys have heard of him just by me saying Alone in the Dark. You probably watched it before. And it has 7 Years in Tibet on there. I'm like, oh, that's pretty smart. Get the guy who does the Star Wars music and just get all of his other soundtracks in for the background. But yeah, it's a really damn good melody, and no one gives a shit about it. Absolutely no one cares. And not even on Spotify, it has such a low view count compared to his other stuff. And I thought no one gave a shit about Memoirs of a Geisha, which I was really fucking wrong about. Because not only was that soundtrack good, and people loved that soundtrack, and it got an Oscar nomination. Of course, it didn't win. But it was banned in China for very specific reason. Oh, yeah. I think it was some sort of portrayal of something, or some sort of connotation of some past events or whatever. They also got a certain type of certain regional Asian actor to play a different regional Asian role, and that sort of, I think that's what happened.
Ticked them off.
Yeah. But
yeah, I did hear something about that actually. Yeah.
And guess what happens with 7 Years in Tibet? They got pissed out over that too, and they banned the movie there too in China. So I mean, we may complain about SJWs over there, but the Republic of China, China is wow.
Well, that's not really comparable, because that's pretty much them just being like, yeah, we control what the people see.
Yeah, that's a government fucking ban.
Yeah,
you cannot do that
not
here.
A bunch of blue hairs waving signs. Like on their Twitter accounts.
That doesn't happen very often in America. And the closest thing you'd get is like maybe not doing something to begin with at all, because like, I don't know, portraying a war crime that America committed at one point. And even still, like, we'll show like modern or contemporary war crimes, or we'll portray it in a negative light. I mean, we can't get the military's help with that, obviously, in those circumstances, because that's just how the rules work. But there's no government ban on it.
Yeah.
People don't riot in the streets because someone made a
we're allowed
racist
to
joke
make
on
movies
Family
about
Guy.
like
people riot because of sports games, or because someone got shot, or whatever. People protest for serious things. They don't always protest for like bannings of stuff, unless it's like GTA 5. But the problem with that particular thing was too many people like video games, so there was a huge pushback with Gamergate against a lot of the stuff that was going on, because I see the extreme left always trying to place divides in with whites and non-whites, and even just that phrase whites and non-whites, like there's like this huge gap between them, even though that's not true technically. It depends on who you look at, but it's not really true, and they keep pitting us against each other, and it's fucking annoying.
Yeah.
And then they go after stuff that we all love. Black guys love video games, Asian guys love video games, Indian guys love video games, white guys love video games, Hispanic guys love
only
GTA.
the cis white scum can be the real enemy.
No, I mean, and GTA 5, it had its fair number of like racial stereotypes, and fuck, you play as one. You play as one.
That's all GTA is. You play as a racial stereotype.
No, you don't. No
GTA, one. Every GTA game there was, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. But that doesn't matter. It's only a certain type of people who get pissed off at this. It's just like hashtag Oscars so white. It's like hashtag Iron Fist, hashtag cancel Colbert. It's just a small sliver of the population that feels a certain way, and they're trying to project it onto everyone else.
And it honestly doesn't really amount to anything.
Exactly, it doesn't.
Just fizzle out.
Yeah.
And no one remembers them, which is what needs to just happen.
Yeah, and what makes you look foolish is when you attack a thing that everyone else really, really loves, like Colbert or GTA 5 or video games in general. You're going to get a pushback from everyone else out there. I'm not saying girls don't play GTA 5. Of course they do.
Yeah.
But you're attacking a much larger demographic than you think, because you think it's just all white guys, and then Gamergate happens, and then Not Your Shield happens, and then you look kind of fucking foolish.
Yeah.
It's like that image of that gaming tournament where you pretty much have every color of the rainbow in that image,
and then you go to the SJW.
Yeah, the look and listen,
and it's just
conference.
White man with beards.
All white people. It's like that's.
Yeah. Like, that's the thing. They don't even, none of these people even are playing, GTA 5 to get offended about it.
They probably aren't even friends with black people. They probably don't even know black people. They probably don't even want to live with black people. They're probably subconsciously racist.
They're just looking for a fire to burn under someone's ass. It doesn't matter who, as long as it keeps them relevant and keeps their Tumblr money coming.
Keeps the keeps Tumblr tumbling.
Yeah. If it keeps them twittering for another day.
Oh yeah.
They'll do whatever it takes.
A little sidetrack there. I don't even know. It's all relative, I suppose. Fucking Academy Awards and all that stuff. And like I said, it's not gonna make any black director or writer look good after this point, because it's all gonna be for diversity. So it's always gonna be called into question. Because they didn't find any neo-Nazis secretly in the fucking academy, and they forget the academy is the voting, the guys who vote for the stuff, they're 60-70% white or something like
Probably,
that.
Yeah.
Guys, what about everyone else? What about that? That's what they don't tell you. They go the headlines are, it's majority white. Okay, kind of like the country. This is to be expected. And you're going to completely invalidate anyone else who's on the academy, any woman who's on the academy, any, black person or Hispanic person or Asian person that's in the academy that might have voted for a white actor or whatever, or a non-black whomever. You're going to completely discount their opinion. That's what the press is doing, and that's actually kind of fucking racist. Your opinion doesn't matter. Because I don't like this outcome. You did this thing, I don't like it, so you don't exist. Because, there were white people who voted for, black actors or a black director. This is documented. They voted for it, but they're like, hey, this is the one that comes out. This is what it is. Who's to say that, a black person didn't vote for, any of these, white actresses or actors or directors or writers? It's perfectly possible. It's the majority of the people. So you can conclude that, yeah, it's statistically possible that they might have voted for it. And you're discounting their opinion. Specifically because, they're not white.
Yeah.
And you think you're doing it for, this cause for racial minorities, but, you're kind of being a fucking hypocrite. It's like, once again, it's like Iron Fist. Oh, which they announced. I forgot to tell you, they announced it yesterday. I think yesterday or
What
today.
is Iron Fist?
Iron Fist is gonna be white, and the tears are flowing. The tears are flowing.
What is it?
He's gonna be white. Iron Fist.
This is actual.
Show. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's.
This is some sort of movement or something.
Yeah. It was a Twitter hashtag that Marvel actually picked up.
Okay.
So it was actually something that they were considering. But they gave it to the gay guy in Game of Thrones. Don't tell me which one.
There's a lot of gay guys in Game of Thrones.
He's the brother of Natalie Dormer's character.
I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about?
I don't actually.
Like they locked him up for buggery.
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's him.
Lawrence?
Yeah. I can't check anything right now because if I click on another window, the recording is gonna stop. I don't want to do that.
Oh.
Yeah, I have this window open that says Skype 2016 226 22 2001.avi, and that's letting me. And there's a thumbnail of the default media player on my computer, and that tells me that it's not done processing, so it's being created right now. And when I click on another window, it will become an official video file. It'll be however many gigabytes. So I'll just take this down from that, and I'll just match it up with what I'm recording right now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I should have Audacity at least open on another window so I can preview it and see if it's still running. But when I preview the window, like it's not showing me anything because it's a still thumbnail preview because I don't have that window open. But it's recording, like it's in a recording, like snapshot. So I know like the last time I clicked on the window, it was recording, so it should be recording right now unless I did something to it. I really hope I didn't because this is coming out really, really, really good. The more they change, the worse it gets. And like and like in the Red Letter Media video, they said like they can make a genuine change to how they categorize these films, like the animation category. Like the animation category can branch out into other categories. Best film. It can branch out. Like they can revolutionize this entire voting process. They could get in people who actually like don't diversify in terms of race. Diversify in terms of people who actually, like the film. People who, and try and mix in people who not so much the average person. Something. Just get a general opinion of the population. That's what diversity at least means to me in this context. And that's too much work. That is way too much work. So I'd sooner believe that like this whole thing was just made up just so they can make a fake change just to whatever. Because like I said, even black people in the industry don't give a shit. I mean, this is affecting such a small portion of the population that no one really gives a shit. And it's like the richest portion of the population too. Like you really want us to give a shit about them too? Like this means anything to us? Like they represent me. They don't fucking represent me.
Look who got their arbitrary award.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And funny story, something happened a couple weeks ago. Sylvester Stallone, he was nominated for
Creed.
Yes, Creed. He got nominated for Creed. And everyone's just like, oh, Ryan Coogler, the black director, and was robbed because he directed the actors, he directed the whole movie. Why didn't he get a nom for directing or whatever? And Sylvester Stallone. He actually wanted to boycott the Oscars because he felt the exact same way. And Ryan,
really?
and because he said like I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. Well, okay, actually he said, well, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. He gave me the directions and he told me.
Come on, the guy was born with a weird nose. He can't help it.
Hey, I ain't gonna go to the Oscars. Hey Ryan, you want me to go to the Oscars? I mean, you're black and you directed the film. How do you want? He didn't say you're black. What should I do? He asked him like, you think I should go? And Ryan Coogler's like, yes, go represent the film. And he's just being incredibly humble about this. I mean, you can point out how he's a liberal or how he's some sort of diversity shill, but at least he shills for all types of diversity. And he's made this statement known, like diversity all around, not just like changing a character black or whatever. Just if you're looking for diversity, look everywhere. Asian, white, black, whatever. He specifically pointed
Don't
even
think about who you're looking for. Just find the best actor.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't even agree with specifically looking at someone's race unless it's like a historical thing or whatever, and we don't even need to get into that because that's a whole other bit of nonsense. Ryan Coogler told him to go and represent the film. So Ryan Coogler, the guy who was supposedly snubbed, so far as I know, is taking this a lot better than people who weren't even considered. I think not even considered is a bigger insult than just only getting it by like some sort of just being nominated on like a peripheral level. Because like, oh yeah, we didn't even consider you, you know, and I think Will Smith is a little butthurt about that.
Oh, just a tidbit.
What?
Just a tidbit.
Yeah. Tidbit?
A tidbit. Butthurt.
Oh, I thought you were gonna like, here's a tidbit. And you're gonna give me a little bit of like, what? Do I not know something?
Here's a fun fact for you.
Yeah. I don't know, Will Smith really surprised me when he did this. I didn't think he was like that.
He's just trying to stay relevant.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought he had a more nuanced view of race than just that. Because I remember watching this series of roundtable discussions. I forget the name of the video series, but it had like a roundtable of actresses, a lot of well-known actresses who've been in the business for a long time, up-and-coming ones. And I think you can guess who was on the roundtable discussion on the female one, right? You can guess who one of them was?
John Lennon.
Oh my God, how did you do that?
I have ESP.
Well, you're pretty close, and by pretty close I mean it starts with a J.
Jaden Smith?
What? Jaden?
Yeah, Jaden Smith.
Jaden's a boy. No.
Oh.
Wait a minute. No, he isn't.
So have you looked?
It's not a skirt, granddad. That's exactly what this is. Hey, Dark Spidey, that's racist. Dark Spidey, you shouldn't say that. That's racist. Also, you're copying iDubbbz when he makes fun of stupid people. No, I'm not. I'm not doing the shirt thing. I mean, you can't see me doing the shirt thing.
Say who? Everyone has their own. Like no one uses like a respectful voice for someone they're annoyed with. You know what I mean?
Oh hell no.
If you're like if like you're annoyed with some guy, like if you're telling a story that's like, yeah, and this guy walks in like, oh, where can I find the paper towels? Oh, you know. Like, everyone does that.
Yeah, it reminds me of back when I was into Rage comics. Around
everyone had that. Everyone had that.
They would make the person they didn't like in their little tidbit story, the retarded reaction image or whatever.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't make themselves the retarded one in the situation. They'd like put on the poker face. When I made it, I always made myself retarded when I was doing something retarded. But yeah, let's not talk about that ever again.
Oh.
Very embarrassed.
This will be cut. All this.
To be truthful, I haven't like browsed Reddit in like 5 years.
Really?
Yeah, it's been a while. If a friend like shows me something from Reddit, I'll just
That friend being me.
I don't know. I don't like the community there, and even a guy I know who goes there.
I don't even use the community. I don't talk to anyone. I just fucking look at the things they post. But you're more intellectual. You need that.
No, I'm not.
You are.
Well, they like to think that they are.
No, you are.
Okay.
You're more of an intellectual.
I don't take compliments that well, Mark, so I'm gonna have to...
Well, you're just gonna have to stomach it.
Like, me and Sam already went over this. Like, I have a serious issue with this, and it makes me seem like a huge asshole.
Well, that's the thing. If you keep getting them, your asshole will just grow and grow until you can come out of that shell and just be your true self.
I'm coming out. I want the world to know. I'm gonna let it show. I remember hearing... I'm obviously not the only person with this issue, and I heard someone once say, I think it was Gabriel from Yahtzee Crochet's Let's Drown Out. He said, like, oh, I don't... He said something about, like, I don't like compliments because it makes me feel uneasy. Like, what are you up to? What do you think you're doing? Huh? What do you
want from me?
Yeah, what do you want from me?
I kind of feel that way, too.
Like, you must be brainwashed or something if you genuinely like that, you motherfucker. Don't lie to me.
It really depends if it's, like, just an out of the blue, like, hey, you got nice pants today. I'm like, motherfucker, these are old pants.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? You know? But if it's like, if I show someone something and they compliment me on that, I can usually take it. But even then, it's like, I'm like, oh, stop. You know?
Yeah.
Shut your I'm not good.
And geez, it's worse for birthdays because it's like a whole celebration just based on the fact that you exist.
that you were
Yeah,
conceived.
and this was the day in which you came officially into existence. I'm just like, I'm getting an award. I'm getting all this praise. I'm getting this birthday money for just simply existing. You know, I haven't earned any of this. I just like, congratulations, you stayed alive for another 365 days. You know, like I don't feel like I deserve that. I mean, that's easy. I
Look,
don't even think about
life
living.
is
I think
depressing
about
enough
dying.
to not. Life is depressing to not have parties every once in a while.
Yeah.
That's all it is. You just want to have a party.
I guess, but like I feel like I love like partying apropos of nothing. But if I'm like, this is the day that we're gonna be happy and celebrate this thing. The holidays hasn't been a happy time for me since I was a kid. It's always stressful. It's always a lot of work. It's always a lot of this and that, and this and that, and everything. You know, it's just ugh. It's been a while since I've actually enjoyed Christmas. You know?
You need to drink more eggnog.
Yeah.
That's where you're going wrong.
I should probably get drunk more. Yeah. Well, to be fair, I was having a lot of tooth pain on Christmas.
Exactly.
Yeah, it really kicked
That was
in when I after I set up everything, or it was kind of tingling a bit in the morning. I was like, okay, let me just set all this crap up. Oh, look, Mike's online. Let me just set all this crap up, and then I'm gonna take some pills and I'm gonna go to sleep. So I set all that stuff up. I'm just like, ooh, wow, great. Okay, I'm gonna go to sleep now. What freaked me out was when I finally opened up my new computer screen. I realized I didn't have the right plug for it, and then I went on Amazon and it said no HDMI cord. I'm just like, fuck me, god damn it, fuck me in the ass, god damn it, why? I've been waiting to open this thing for like a month. I didn't fucking get the one with the HDMI cord. God damn it. I knew I should have gotten Asus or whatever. God damn it. So I just went on Amazon. I ordered a D sub port HDMI cord, so it had both on both ends, so I can plug in the HDMI port on my motherboard, and I just plug the motherboard port, and I plug in the sub D port, or whatever the fuck it's called, and I plug that into the computer screen, and it works just fine. It works fine. It's great. It's great. I fucking love my setup here. I love finally having a genuine fucking computer that can run stuff.
Oh yeah, it's
and
great.
I can process stuff, and I can run other programs, and there's no performance loss at all. It's just great. This whole thing is great. I totally know what you mean here.
Plus, you can play RuneScape at max settings.
Yeah, which is like. Yeah, I should go back in the RuneScape. I probably shouldn't though.
No, it's awful.
Yeah, my second monitor is an old one, from the. It's not as old as the computer it came from, but it's probably around. It's probably a bit older than one I should be using. Considering there's like this power gap in between the two screens, so the color isn't as vibrant when I move a video over to the second monitor.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can't change it because it's like it is within the hardware itself that's producing this specific contrast that I can't punch up to match the other screen unless I.
Yeah, that's how mine is. Mine's a little bit like one of mine's older, so it's like got a little bit tinge to it.
Oh yeah, and yours is a lot smaller. My okay, I went overboard here. My main monitor is huge. It's pretty big. I think it's around 24 inches, which is slightly bigger than your average computer screen. Just slightly,
Yeah.
a couple of inches over. And my second monitor is what you actually should have for a computer screen. So it's oversized on both ends, and it's actually it's actually pretty good. Like I have more space on the main screen, and I have all this other space over here. So when I'm like editing and I'm moving pictures over, I just have that window open, and I just highlight, drag, and just move it over. It's so great. So great. Yeah. And I noticed I have the same computer as as Ethan from H3H3. It's from the same company, so I don't feel like so much of a pleb. I guess it's probably a pleb too. Doesn't matter. I get the same mouse and everything. It's weird.
Really?
Same speakers too. Yeah. It's fucking weird, man. Like I hardly know anything about the guy, and we like have the same setup and everything. Yeah. Anyway, oh god, I just love this. I just love this so much. I love looking at this. I love looking at having this fucking leather armchair, my stool, my keyboard, my mouse, my speakers, my huge monitor. this is just so great. I don't deserve any of this, even though I paid for all of this with my own hard-earned money, except for the computer screens. Because that's Christmas stuff. But all this other stuff I paid for. It's great. I love it. I love that feeling of putting in the grind and getting this out of it. This feels great. And I can upgrade it too.
Yeah.
I can upgrade it. It's great. It's great. This is what being an adult is about. I love it. You know? Everyone doesn't want to grow up. Everyone hates being a grown up, but it's stuff like that. Like, I get it. I get what it's like being a member of Western civilization. You know? I get it.
All the capitalism is just seeping into you, isn't it?
Oh my god, is it? Dude, is it? I sound like such a bootlicker. But to end the Academy discussion, John Williams has been nominated again this year for The Force Awakens, which is weird to me. We last time we had this discussion, we figured the only reason why they didn't nominate the Star Wars prequel soundtrack, and yes, although they nominated him multiple times, the years that those films came out, they did not, they didn't give it to him. They didn't even nominate, the Star Wars prequels, like they couldn't even separate that, or maybe they didn't have enough room in the category itself. But yeah, they didn't nominate it, and that's like the only really universally accepted among Star Wars fans, really good things come out of the prequels was the score. And you said yeah, Duel of the Fates is iconic, Across the Stars is like the most, it's like one of the best romantic melodies I have ever heard in my life, and it's played against one of the worst romances in film history. It's like the most mind-boggling thing and the most, of course it would come from George Lucas, because positive or negative, you're gonna get a mind-boggling thing. He's an auteur. He just goes all the fucking way with a thing, even if it's completely misguided, even if it falls on its face. And in that sense, it becomes more memorable than, The Force Awakens. And the same thing with Nolan, same thing with Snyder. They let the directors just do whatever the fuck that they want. And sometimes they'll lead into a positive result, sometimes it leads to a negative result. And DC didn't used to do this. Warner Brothers, didn't used to do this. Like with The Death of Superman. That was a director going all in with a whole bunch of stuff. It might not have been good, but it certainly would have been a thing to remember. We didn't get to see the finished product. All you have is really that documentary, a couple of news articles, stuff like that. But DC, Warner Brothers was having a lot of bombs in the late 90s. I should know because I was there at the time. I'm like, these movies are great. I love these movies, Mom. Thanks. They were all shit. They were all underperforming. But of course, I was a little kid. I didn't know shit, But yeah. So with George Lucas, he goes all the way. He goes all the way with it. And he admits it himself. He goes too far in a couple of places sometimes, But the score, they just couldn't separate it, and that kind of lends some credence to the theory that with music, this sort of intangible, sort of beautiful thing, it's and if it's attached to a Best Picture nom, then of course the Best Picture nom is also gonna get nominated for Best Score. And if you got a movie like the Star Wars prequels, which, of course the more hoity-toity critics are not going to like, and everyone in the industry is sort of alienated by this project, of course they're not going to give it Best Score. They'll give it a nom for stuff like visual effects and sound mixing or whatever, but they're not gonna give it Best Score. That's a little too much, This is gonna sound weird. I genuinely like the score for Transformers.
Oh.
But of course they're never gonna nominate it. So that's the closest equivalent that I can get. Of course they're not gonna nominate Transformers. He gets nominated for The Force Awakens because more people like the Force Awakens, and John Williams is probably gonna die soon. So they want to give him a pity nom, even though he's not at a loss for nominations. Okay, he's got plenty. He's a huge loser. Okay. He's like Leonardo DiCaprio of film scores, except he's actually talented. Yeah, I went there. we'll talk about Leo. We're not gonna fucking end this without talking about Leo. Okay.
Oh Jesus.
And some people are upset because they think that they think the Force Awakens score is better than the prequel score, and some people have been saying that the Force Awakens score was pretty underwhelming, and I am one of those people. And you said that you couldn't really recognize any sort of standoutish, tracks or melodies in the film. When I first saw The Force Awakens, the only thing that was standing out to me was Rey's theme and the theme for March of the Resistance, because I feel like that's John Williams. This is something that he does on a regular basis. But the thing about John Williams scores, the soundtracks, they are filled with that, and that's as in terms of what sticks with you in quality, that's on sort of the mid to lower range. And then you have this one or two tracks that really fucking tops it off. Like with Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, you have, he really breathed new life into his own score. I don't feel like that really happened with this one, because at first it was good, but sort of standard kind of fantasy music, and you had the chimes and that sort of sounded like magic stuff and everything, like magical glitter. You had that stuff in there. But with the third one, he really just went all out with the score. And I don't know if you ever saw Prisoner of Azkaban. You said you didn't see it when it came out.
No, that's the one I skipped.
Okay, so you never saw it.
No.
Oh, jeez, it's good. He just takes that score and he just makes it something else. It's like what happened with Batman Begins and The Dark Knight. They just took that and they just it's a good sequel score. Because he had all this medieval music in there and everything. He had all these different instruments. The Quidditch theme, it's so good. It goes dun 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 So that's how that goes. I can't imagine coming up with that. I had a hard time trying to memorize it because so many notes in so little time, and it's so good that even after he left the Harry Potter series, other composers came back and tried to do it. Not as good. They didn't do it right. It's like you kind of got it the first couple of notes, and then you're just like, you know what? Fuck it. Just fuck it. I think it was the sixth one, Half-Blood Prince, because it's the only other Harry Potter film we actually see them playing Quidditch again. And I noticed it in the theater, oh, this sounds like the third movie. Kind of, but it's not really. It's pretty lame. But all the other composers that came after John Williams, they were pretty good too. They didn't stand out as much as, of course, John Williams himself. I think the only one who really made it his own was the one who did. I think his name was Patrick Doyle. He did Goblet of Fire, the one that you watched. Did the score stand out for you in any way in Goblet of Fire?
No, I was sick when I was watching Goblet of Fire. I don't even remember what happened to Harry.
Not even Voldemort's theme? That was really good.
I don't watch. I watch the movies for the punches.
Well, they didn't punch anyone.
I know, but I don't listen to them.
Mike Newell, I don't know what the fuck he was thinking for a Goblet of Fire, because as we said, fuck me, I did it again. All right, as we said, or as I said, he had a very sporadic. He made everyone seem schizophrenic. I don't know. He was just doing some weird things, and I think he was trying to replicate Alfonso Cuarón's style, which was very distinct for a Harry Potter movie, and he just didn't get this little nuances of it, so it all just felt kind of all over the place. I mean, I like it, but it's kind of weird in some parts. It's characters act in really weird ways. Barty Crouch Sr., him and his fucking twitchy arm or fingers, that's not explained. The reason why Barty Crouch Jr. is all he does the tongue thing because the bad guys are really into snakes, right? They fucking worship snakes, all right? That's why he does the tongue thing. He's obsessed with them. They're obsessed with them, right? So that's why, spoiler alert, that's why Mad-Eye Moody does the tongue thing, and there was a callback to it, or a call forward to it. I don't remember. the tongue thing, because Harry goes into the pensieve and he sees him doing the tongue thing. Barty Crouch Jr. He's flicking his tongue out at his dad as he's being arrested. And it doesn't. And the movie doesn't even spoil itself beyond that point, because it's like, it's almost, when you see it, you or think back to it, or whatever order it goes into, it's almost like he's mocking him, which is something you can infer, like, wow, what a fucking asshole. It's like that one mannerism that someone's loved one had before they went to jail. You just start doing it in front of them. Like, what the fuck? You don't do that. You fucking asshole. And then you have it must have been really awkward after another spoiler here. Like, this is a genuine spoiler. After one of the Weasley twins dies, like, it must be really awkward when, like, someone comes over to visit that haven't been there in a while, and they call the wrong twin, and the other, like I forget what, I think Fred died, I don't remember, but they're like, "Hey, Fred," like, "I'm George." "Where's Fred?" "Fred's dead." "Oh." I don't know, that was always funny to me. About as funny as Harry doing the Accio spell on his parents and their skeletons flying through the wall. Isn't that funny? It's super duper funny. I imagine if someone made a video about that, it would go viral.
Yeah, but not if it was made out of Legos. That'd be pretty dumb.
Yeah, what kind of asshole would do that? Dumbass. Alexander dumbass. So what I think they did with John Williams this time around was they're just like, okay, technically we're not saying that this score is better than the prequel scores. It's just in this particular year of films, this is the best score we've listened to. I don't know, Ray's theme was just really good. Like, I find myself humming it sometimes. The melody I hum the most is out of nowhere, or whistle, is March of the Resistance. Like, I whistle that a lot, and I like whistling to it more than I like actually listening to it. And I like listening to the final bit of that track than the beginning of it. I don't know, I just love how it's played in the beginning. And I just taught myself how to play it on piano. And by taught myself, I mean I watched someone on YouTube play it, and I slowed it down, and I followed their fingers. Now I can play it on piano. And now I can't stop playing it on piano. It goes... Oh, I fucked up. I fucked it up.
You did.
Yeah, I did. And Ray's theme goes... You don't remember any of that?
Nope.
Not even the beginning when she was sliding down that fucking hill. Ray.
Oh, I remember seeing that. Like, I don't remember hearing nothing.
Like you didn't hear the chimes going ding dong ding 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 dong.
Nope.
Ding. Well, does that sound good at all?
It sounds good.
Whatever. Fuck you. God damn it. I feel like I'm the only motherfucker who likes this score, even though that particular track on Spotify has 2 million views.
I'm not saying that's not true, Reggie.
The only reason why it has that many, because one, I think it actually sounds good, and two, because it's Star Wars. It's the first Star Wars soundtrack in 10 years. Of course, it's going to get a lot of views. It has 2 million views on Spotify.
That's the thing. I was too focused on looking at the Star Wars to hear the Star Wars. All right.
I didn't stop people.
Get off my back.
I didn't stop people last time. They had an even longer wait for that movie.
That's because they never saw a Star Wars before. It was all shock and awe. They got both barrels right to the face.
No. A lot of people were alive. Dude, it was 1999. There were tons of people who were alive from the 70s to watch it, alright? I dare say that's probably like half of the people who went and saw The Phantom Menace. I didn't see The Phantom Menace in theaters. I got it on videotape. I was
talking about the original Star Wars.
Oh, okay. I was talking about The Phantom Menace. I don't know what happened this time. Maybe he's just getting old. Maybe he lost his touch. I mean, he's not bad by any means. It's just not as memorable, you know? And even someone like me, who flates John Williams all the time on this very show, nonetheless, it's just, it's okay. It's good. It's not as good as the other Star Wars movies, because even Rey's theme, March to the Resistance, that sort of melodic structure, the way his musical choices, everything that went into that track, I find more of that just sort of everywhere on the previous tracks, even if it's not something that most people like to hum. Like the most memorable thing from Revenge of the Sith's soundtrack would be Battle of the Heroes. You know what I mean? The music when yes, you know what I mean. The music when Anakin and Obi-Wan fights. People know that one. People like that one. You know which one? That one, the lava fight. Yeah, see, even you know what the fuck that is. You don't know shit about Star Wars. Ray Charles.
I know things about Star Wars. What are you talking about? I've seen those Plinkett reviews.
No, you don't. With Revenge of the Sith, I really love Enter Lord Vader, and no one cares about that track. No one gives a shit about it, but it sounds really good. And it only plays like the Imperial March / Darth Vader's theme like once or twice, but the rest of it is like he makes another theme for Darth Vader in this track, and it sounds really good. Give me a second. I'm sorry, I'm cut off guard.
Oh, you're gonna hum it?
I'll try. Dun 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 bum bum ba da ba da 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 bum bum ba da da ba da dum ba da dum ba 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 bum bum ba da ba dum bum 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 ba dum bum 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 ba dum bum ba dum. So that's just a bit of the. I probably got bits of the track like fused in there because I'm going off my memory right now. But I really love that track. It's really good. Like it switches back and forth between Sinister and something else. I don't know. It's a really good track, and there's a lot of it there. General Grievous theme. He has a really great theme, and it's less substantial than Battle of the Heroes. Only some things makes it into the cultural conscious, but it's still a really really good theme. I'm gonna hum it for you now. All right. Bum ba-dum bum ba-dum bum ba-dum ba-da-da-dum bum 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 ba-dum bum ba-dum bum bum ba-da-da-da-dum bum. That's it.
It's not humming. It's more like a cappella. It's one person. See, when you do that, that fucks up the mic. It sounds like a bumblebee.
Oh. I can try whistling, but it's just gonna sound like I'm blowing into the mic.
No, whistling would make it worse.
Exactly, that's what I said.
You don't whistle in the mics.
That's what I said. It's gonna make it worse. It's just gonna sound like I'm blowing into it. That quality that I saw in Rey's theme in March of the Resistance was everywhere on the track. There wasn't a bad track. It wasn't a track I didn't want to listen to. Like I listened to the whole soundtrack. Same with Attack of the Clones. Same with Phantom Menace. I listened to the entire soundtrack. I wouldn't skip anything. Okay, maybe I'd skip a couple from Attack of the Clones, but it's like one or two. And conversely, with The Force Awakens, I'm only listening to 2 tracks. Like, that's kind of bad. Like, even if a fanboy like me acts this way, you know, probably speaks volumes, you know? So, I mean, I don't know if he deserves, I don't even think he deserves to be nominated this year, and that fucking hurts. It hurts for me to say. Damn. Well, he is like 84. Oh, and happy birthday, John Williams, because his birthday was a couple weeks ago. Did we already say that? Oh, I don't remember that part came through. But once again, it's him trying to outdo not only himself, but the most iconic film score ever. Even if he got like Michael Giacchino, how you say his fucking name, the guy who usually works with J.J. Abrams on these films, even if you got him to do it, it'd be the same thing. You know, it'd be the exact same result. It's him. It's someone trying to outdo some of the most iconic melodies in film history.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel bad for any motherfucker who has to do it, especially if it's yourself and it's your score. So it adds like an extra layer of meta bullshit on there. So Leonardo DiCaprio, people are saying he deserves to win this year. What do you think, Mark? What do you think?
I don't think you deserve an Oscar just because you ate a fish.
He ate a fish. He ate a liver. It wasn't a fish. It was a liver, right? Did he eat?
I thought you did both.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Did you see The Revenant?
No.
Oh, I saw The Revenant. You know, I don't know. It's weird that this director can have so much, like, sort of stabbing commentary and satire in Birdman, and does a lot of sort of questionable things, like something that I feel like Birdman in some instance would like sort of shit on, you know? Like it does some really just unnecessary movie things, you know? Like it being a revenge plot is it's something to do with his family. Something that wasn't in the original tale of the guy that it's based on. You know, it has these unnecessary flashbacks. Not flashbacks, but just it just I completely forgot the word for it. It's like he just sort of zones out and he like has these weird fantasies that make no sense at all. Like he sees his dead wife. Cutaway, I think. Yeah, he like has these images and of his wife floating in the sky or whatever. It's just like, what is this? Like someone pointed out that a lot of the visuals in the films are references to, like, you know, older like masters of filmmaking and such. And like that's great and all, but you got something else. You got something original. You got something that isn't fucking pretentious. I mean, I liked it. I appreciate it, but fuck me, is it pretentious? You know, it's like, okay, I got away with that stuff in Birdman. You know, I got away with a lot of shit with Birdman. I'm just gonna fucking do whatever I want now. It's like, no. And it's just whatever. No, Leo does not deserve to win. He does not deserve to be nominated. In the conversation that we had, I essentially went over all the factors that were put in place to make Leo stronger as an actor. Yeah, he's actually going to be in the snow. We're actually going to film in the cold, right? He's a vegetarian, so we're going to have him eat a fucking liver or a fish. He's not really good at dialogue scenes, so he's going to play a character whose throat has been cut. He's very good with physical acting. He's good at moving his body. If you watch Wolf of Wall Street, you know what I'm talking about, right? So we'll have him...
Well, that could have been the cocaine.
Yeah. Like, we actually had him smoke cocaine. So we're going to have him scream and crawl on the ground a lot and growl and everything and look weird at the camera and shit. So yeah. Yeah, I feel like they have all this padding for Leo as if he's a special needs child, not to fail. And it still isn't convincing to me. And here you have fucking Tom Hardy just walking around, just acting circles around Leo. He doesn't have any of these handicaps in place for him, you know? Like, he actually looks scalped and everything. Like, all that shit, all that was convincing. I actually felt this character. And it was such a stark contrast when they went back to Leo. You know, it's just like, and what's worse about it, I have more sympathy for I forgot the character's name. It's on the tip of my tongue. Tom Hardy's character. I have more sympathy for him. I don't know if that's just like the poor writing, or Tom Hardy having a more convincing performance, being a more convincing character, and having the less, and as possibly a real life person, having the least things meddled with as a character. And even though I didn't know the original tale going into it, I can tell when it was being fucked with, especially near the end. I'm just like, that happened way too fast. That's way too convenient. They're making shit up now. So yeah, based on a true story, based on a true asshole. I don't know what I was trying to do there. It's Tom Hardy. I think he was nominated too. I don't know.
I thought he was definitely nominated for Best Supporting Actor. I know that off the top of my head.
I know he was nominated for Best Sound Edit, Best Sound Mixing, or whatever. But I don't know, maybe it's just the theater I was in, but the sounds are actually kind of distracting to me. Not like it was quiet or anything, but like what was loud almost felt out of sync, or like the surround sound was kind of fucked. I don't know if that was just me or not. I'll have to ask Michael when I get the chance, because he saw it too. But the sound was really weird. Like I don't know, like it sounded like they were in a room or something. When a character was off screen and they were talking, it just sort of like the sound quality. It felt like they were in a really enclosed space. So I don't know, maybe they were doing it in one take and like it didn't sound right because they were actually in the fucking cold. Ooh. So they had to ADR it, but the ADR sounds really obvious. I don't know. It just sounded off to me. But that opening scene was just fantastic, though. just like when they're being attacked by Indians, it's just, oh, it's great. It's a great scene. And it peaks after the bear fight, because there's really no other portion of the film that stuck out to me after that point. Maybe a couple of visual things here and there, but other than that, maybe when they're going out for Fitzgerald, that's his name, when they're hunting down Fitzgerald, that to me, like, that was exciting, the build up to that. But then even that had a very sort of disappointing conclusion. And when you actually read the actual, the real tale, it feels more real because it doesn't have any of that sort of Hollywood bullshit in there. Once again, it's like Hollywood bullshit, something that Birdman would shit on. I feel like the director or the writers who came up with that, I don't know, it feels weird that this is the next project he does, just a straight up period piece with sort of a hint of weird, sort of fantastical elements to it that has very Hollywood ending and very Hollywood-ish elements. I could have gone with a more realistic sort of ending, like the one that supposedly actually happened, and they don't do that. They just, like, it starts off that seeming like it's going to take itself really seriously, and we're going to be as real as possible, and your stupid Hollywood cliches are not going to make you feel better at the end of this. And it tries to. It's exactly what it tries to do. And it left me disappointed as fuck. I appreciate it. It's a nice looking film. The effort put into the film was probably painstaking and difficult, but fucking hell. What the fuck were you thinking with some of this shit, man? What the fuck? Like, you have a story here already written for you. It's not satisfying in the traditional Hollywood storytelling sense, but like it's a sensible conclusion, because this is not one I've seen before. Anyway, was he nominated or what? I don't know. Mark.
Huh?
Was he nominated for anything?
What, Tom Hardy?
Yeah.
I said he was nominated for. I was actually looking it up. I just know he was nominated for Best Supporting
Actor. It's fucking 12 o'clock at night, you fucking lazy asshole.
Exactly!
I'm sorry, I had coffee before, so I'm kind of still awake right now.
I had beer before.
Oh, I'm sorry. I keep torturing you like this, but I just have to get this right.
You're the Rambler, Reggie.
Yes, I am. Anyway, Tom Hardy, if he isn't nominated, he deserves to be nominated. And what the fuck, was Mad Max really nominated for Best Picture? I mean, I like it. I like Mad Max a lot, but Best Picture, like,
I could see it.
It's weird because it's like the Academy itself reinforces this specific genre of film that gets nominated. Period pieces, movies about oppression, movies about alternative lifestyles, and it kind of, it rejects a lot of the other fantasy stuff. And I don't remember if I brought this up, but before not the recording that was fucked up, but before on the show. But that's been something that's been really fucking bugging me. I must have brought it up once or twice, but that pisses me off so much. How they ignore a lot of the science fiction and fantasy films, and then when they actually do it, we're just sort of used to this specific genre. We go, wait a minute, that's not an Academy film. You can't nominate that. Wait a minute, what the fuck am I saying? Yes, of course, nominate Mad Max. And I'm almost inclined to go, yeah, it deserves to be nominated simply because not enough of its type is being nominated. Mm-hmm. And I think we're all just so used to it at this point that we go, nah, what are you kidding me? That's pleb shit. Why would you nominate for Best Picture? And it kind of calls into question why they didn't nominate other films that probably should have been. I mean, if you're going to nominate Mad Max, you might as well nominate The Dark Knight for Best Picture. You might as fucking well, It's about as memorable as any other film that came out that year. I mean, what other film came out in 2008? Slumdog Millionaire, Benjamin Button, The Dark Knight. That, to me, is 2008. That is all of 2008 in my mind. I was 14 in 2008. I wasn't born in 2008 like you were, listener. I was actually fucking there. What do I get from it? Slumdog Millionaire, Curious Case of Benjamin Button, which I don't even think came out in 2008 now that I think about it, and The Dark Knight. And Mad Max is probably going to be the only thing I remember from last year. So yeah, they might as fucking well nominate. Why not? Why not? Are we going to fall for this same thing too? Are we actually going to just completely fall into that same mindset that they have? No. No, we're not going to do that. They should make more in-depth changes to the category, the voting process, whatever. But, yeah, I think it deserves to be nominated simply because not enough of its type is nominated, and it's had this much of an effect on us where we're cannibalizing ourselves. We're cannibalizing the stuff that we love in some cases, for some people, obviously, not all of them. And we're going, no, it doesn't deserve it. That's so weird to me. That's so weird. Because we fell for we drank the Kool-Aid too. It's permeated everywhere. Now we can't even like anything that's good or entertaining or not a fucking period piece, for fuck's sake. Like The Revenant, which is a period piece, which I'm sure is nominated for Best Picture. It definitely is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is?
I don't know.
Okay. God damn it, Mark. Do some fucking work. Stop being lazy.
Hey, man. I'm not even the co-host. I'm just a guest.
God damn it. I probably only saw 2 of the films that were nominated. I don't know if Steve Jobs was nominated, but I wanted to go see that. But, scheduling conflicts. Same thing happened with 2014. A lot of films I wanted to see, but, I had a lot of really essay and project heavy classes at the time, so I couldn't really go to the movie theater. And the only one I saw from late 2014 was Gone Girl, and Interstellar, and Battle of the Five. So yeah, I don't think Leo deserves to be nominated. That's it. That's it. Tom Hardy is better. I don't understand The Revenant at all. YouTube's copyright thing, that's insane. That's insane. But that's a conversation for another day. I'm gonna go ahead and.
Everyone's talking about that anyway.
Yeah. I'm gonna let that sit because we've talked about it before. I think the last time we talked about it, I was being a little too rough on Angry Joe. I don't know what the fuck. I felt really easily agitated that day.
I get easily agitated by Angry Joe too.
I mean, he has a much better work ethic than I do. But then again, no, he actually puts effort into his videos. I was gonna compare him to reaction videos, but that's not fair. Reaction videos are pure trash. Unless you have any sort of editing or commentary over it, then there's something to watch. But it's pretty much pointless, I just don't get it. Oh wait, I do get it, Mark. I do get it. It's because they don't have any actual talent, and then whenever they try to be talented, it sucks.
Yep.
Ooh, feisty little thing. Ooh,
Jeez.
feisty little thing. I don't even get that microwave joke that he made. Black people don't like listening to the ding on the microwave? Isn't that like every other person? No one likes the ding on the microwave. That's pretty. It doesn't sound good. My dishwasher, whenever it's done, it makes a nice little tune, nice little melody. Doesn't go that fast, but it's nice to listen to. Oh, the dishes are done. Yay! But the microwave is just beep, 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 beep. It's not fun to listen to. Fuck that. It's fucking loud, too. My refrigerator door has an alarm, too. If you leave it open for too long, it starts beeping. It sounds exactly like the fucking microwave. Except it does the opposite thing that you want it to do. It keeps things cold. Beep, beep, beep. Hey, asshole. Close the fucking door. Hey. You're ugly, and your mom smells. Fucking close the door, asshole. It doesn't actually say that to me, but it might as well, because it sounds so awful. I don't get the joke. Black people don't eat the ass ends of the bread. Most people don't.
Reggie.
Do you?
Reggie. You're giving this man way too much credit.
No, I'm not.
By talking about him.
Okay. I love how Jinx is so white on the inside. Or he thinks every little inane thought that comes through his head is a black person thing. Or any thought in his head is a black person thing. Just because he's black. He probably asked a couple of black people, do you do this? Yeah, I do. Oh my god. I think I came across a race joke. Oh yeah. My 1 million subscribers gonna love this. He doesn't actually sound exactly like that, but you get my point. It's like that's just things that people do. There's no racial connotation to that at all. There's no historical, ethical, ethnic things that coincide with that, like speeching patterns and accents and cultural stuff. Like, that's normal. And not normal, that's something that most people do. I guess that's what normal means. I don't know. Anyway, we'll talk about the copyright thing later, but I'm waiting to see how that pans out. So I'm in like a really weird gray area, but I don't know. If you wanna know my opinions, I guess just watch my copyright claims from the future video I made, where I got a copyright claim on a song that didn't exist by the time I made the actual video, because we were using the same music making program and we used the same sample, and it caught that the automated program caught the sample.
Yeah,
it was like, we went over this. Just watch that video when I went over what happened, and basically what I said was, this could be extrapolated to more advanced music making programs because professionals use those. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully I won't get sued for all my bananas. Well, thank you for sticking with me. I know this must be difficult for you, Mark.
I'm here.
I'm sorry. I just
got a little bit too much coffee in you.
Oh yeah. I just wanted to get this out. Thank you for sticking with me.
Just like that Back to the Future video, huh?
It's done. It's literally done. I just
don't fucking believe it.
I had to I had to close the program for my webcam to work. Like, I have it right here. Oh, nope. I'm not gonna click on it. You made me fucking click on the video. Oh, you fuck you. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and let you go. You get some sleep, all right?
Yep.
Right.
I need to fall asleep in some dirt.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm sorry.
No problem. See you later, folks.
Bye. And that's it. All right. That's it. Yeah. The Back to the Future video might already be up by the time I actually